the different centers that we have within ourselves. And you can see how beautifully they are placed. And how gradually, when the Kundalini rises, how she enlightens the innermost core of the centers. There are 3 channels in the central channel. And the innermost channel is used by Kundalini to pierce through for the first time. We can imagine Kundalini to be made of many strands of energy twined together just like a rope. And as the chakras start opening, more strands start getting awakened and they pierce through these 6 centers. But if a person, after realization, just thinks that he has got the realization, then he doesn't have to bother about it, may lose it for the time being, for quite some time I should say. And he'll have to work much harder to re-establish his self-realization. I have seen many a times when we give realization to people, they say, yes, we have felt it, they did feel it, everything happens. And then they lose it because they have not established their realization properly. For which, luckily, in every place wherever I go, I see to it that we already have a center established. Then you can go to that center and you can learn from them how to establish your realization. That is a very, very important time which must be taken into consideration. There was a lady who had cancer. She was cured of her cancer. She was perfectly all right. And she went back to her family. She was doing very well. And after some time, a year or so, she came back with another disease of a very serious nature. So I asked her, how is it that you are cured of cancer, now you get another disease? Did you do anything about it? No, mother. I went back from here. Everybody says you are looking very fine. You are all right. They were all quite surprised how I was cured. And I never bothered to do anything about it. So she got another trouble. You go on like this. You cure one thing, then you again cure another thing. Like little children, you clean them, then again they get out and soil their clothes. Again they are back in the bathroom, then again you clean them. Again they do the same. So you have to mature. After realization, you must, in all wisdom and sensible behavior, you must mature it. Otherwise it's a big headache to me and big headache to you. And you can be quite lost also with it. Because if a seed is half sprouted, it is of no use at all. So if you want that you should really have the complete bliss of self-realization, you have to become a little serious person about it. Shallow temperament is not going to help you. Or looking at it as if like one of the guru shopping business, it is not going to work out. You have to work to see that you establish yourself. Till you have established, you are not to work on other people. But once you are established, you can start working on other people, giving them realization. There is no need then for you to bother that you will catch from others or anything. But before that, you should not try to help others. First help yourself. Selfishness to begin with. Unless and until you are all right and you know all the methods of protecting yourself, you are not to indulge into Sahaja Yoga practices which helps others. But when you become an expert, when you have an expertise, then you should do it. Like a mechanic who doesn't know how to repair a car may spoil it more. So better become an expert for which you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to do much about it, but only to understand how you have to move the Kundalini within you, how you have to establish it back, what problems you have, and how you have to cure. You'll be surprised, you won't be aware of problems that you have. One gentleman came and told me, Mother, everyone is coming and asking me, what about your father? What's the problem? I said, everybody said the same. He said, yes. I said, I also want to know, what about your father? He said, my father died very early in life and I always had a feeling that I had no father. That can be cured. And he developed asthma with it. So everybody knows, those who know one thing, that is the truth about you. All of them will say the same thing. Even if it's a small child, he'll also come and ask you that, is your father all right? Because if he knows that this center on the right hand side means the father. So he will also say the same. And then he will come and ask you, what about your father? It is so remarkable sometimes the way people see these things that they can't believe. But this is nothing. What you get is just a wee bit of it. But as Kundalini rises, on every center you start getting the light of that center. At the first center you get back your innocence. Your eyes become innocent. Your behavior becomes innocent. You are not filled with lust and greed. You don't look at things with lust and greed, but you look at things with innocence, which is a very big thing that people have lost and that you get back. And such a person develops many qualities. One of them is that such a person is full of fragrance. Such a person has a tremendous gravity. Tremendous gravity. And such a person has tremendous dynamism, and attraction is a bad word, so I don't want to use it, but magnetic. His magnet is awakened within him. This is the center of your magnet, of the earth. Such a person develops a tremendous sense of roads, and sense of direction. You place him anywhere, he will know where to go. Like birds. You place birds anywhere, they know which side is north, south, east, west. In the same way, you also develop your lost innocence and your magnet within you by which you have proper direction. But the highest of all, you develop the proper direction to wisdom, which is the wise thing to do. You just don't do stupid things. You just don't do. Even if you ever try to do it, you will not do it because you know it is so stupid. Just you don't do it. I mean, it is so simple to be wise than to be stupid. Because if you have to be stupid, you have to go out of the way to be stupid and idiotic. But if you want to be normal and wise, is the easiest thing to do. But what people do is to do things that would make them more and more stupid, nonsensical. Because also some people told me they do it, the reason being they think they have a nuisance value. Like in London now we have one funny stuff going on, they call it what? Punk rock. You see, it's a funny stuff. Now, poor things, they don't know what they are doing. And I think only value of that punk rock system is this, that they try to sort of make a nuisance out of them so that people feel attracted towards them, or sort of a significance out of it. But when you become a realized soul, you realize your significance because you understand you are part and parcel of the whole, and that your significance is to give realization to others. The highest of highest. That's what you have to do. Now you are a saint. And that's how the whole attitude of cheapishness, of outward shallowness finishes and you become a serene, dignified personality. This is not possible through any sermon, any lecture. It is only possible when the Kundalini rises, you become like a very dignified child. Very dignified child. I had seen one beautiful painting done of Mother Mary being taught first time. If you see her as a child, she is a very dignified personality. As a child, she is about 10 years of age. I have seen my own grandchildren who are not very old but extremely dignified. They walk like kings, behave like kings. In every behavior, you find there's such a dignity. They'll never do something shallow. They'll never ask for anything. They never weep for anything. They never cry for anything. They're so dignified and they understand it so well what is dignity is. I don't have to tell them because they're born realized. In the same way, you become. Nobody has to tell you that do this or do that. But you understand that you must have self-respect. This happens to you automatically. This is actualization. Nobody has to tell you that you be dignified, you just become. I have seen people who were absolutely absurd. Even from this punk rock we got some people. And they were so changed that people could not recognize them. But one thing bad has happened with this punk rock, that they put some sort of dye in their head, and since then their eyes became very weak. Because these dyes, I think, make the optic lobe covered with some sort of a color, and you can't see properly, and the eyes became very weak. And it took some time for us to remove the effect of those dyes from their head. We go headlong. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong in this world if it is a stupid fool. But for a wise man, there are very many things which are absolutely wrong, and there are very many things which are absolutely correct. So you develop your wisdom by this first center. Now as the Kundalini rises, she enlightens your second center, which we can call as the Swadhisthana Chakra for the time being, though it is the third center, but first, second center. You become extremely creative. Extremely creative. I know of a gentleman who came to me, he had no job. And he said, Mother, I have no job, and what should I do? I said, all right, what do you want to do? He said, whatever you say. I said, all right, why don't you become an interior decorator? He said, me, I don't know what is the teak wood, I don't know what is the rosewood, how am I to become an interior decorator? I said, you just use your vibrations. And you'll be surprised you earn millions of rupees out of that profession. Because you become extremely creative. Your sense of creation becomes so subtle and so beautiful that you start understanding art at such a high level that people don't know how, when you are not educated in art, how you can do it. I went to Japan once and they were having an Ikebana competition or something. So I went to see the Ikebana class. They requested me, why don't you do some flower arrangement? I said, all right, I'll do it. I did it. And I got the highest marks without knowing a word about Ikebana. Just surprising. I got the highest mark. I can do lots of things which I have never done before, like architecture. I have built houses without doing any architecture. I have done decorations of the houses. I have done all kinds of things without knowing how to do it. Because you become so creative. Music you start understanding so much better. There are people now, in America there's a girl, she had a horrible hoarse voice, absolutely hoarse voice. And she always used to go out of tune. So I told her, you shouldn't sing songs before me because it's rather funny. She said, Mother, why don't you give me a good voice? I said, you just try your Vishuddhi Chakra. If your Vishuddhi Chakra is corrected, you'll be all right. Why don't you sit down? So the Vishuddhi Chakra she tried on Vishuddhi Chakra giving vibrations, and she sings so melodiously now that actually she can be a great singer. So the creativity, that also is a blessing of your power, of the goddess of learning. Boys who could not study in the schools were absolutely duffers. Some people brought this boy, recently I received a letter from him. When he came to me, his father said that he is going to be taken out of school because he is good for nothing, he cannot remember anything, he is absolutely finished. I said, all right, doesn't matter, let him take to surgery. He got his realization. Not only that he passed with first class, but he got a scholarship. Then he passed another exam, he got a scholarship. Now he's got a very big job. At a very young age, he wrote to me, Mother, no one can believe that a duffer like me has been so much highly placed. All the boys who got scholarships in Maharashtra, in schools, in colleges and university are Sahajogis. It is such a tremendous force that starts working in. If you try to give vibrations, say, to fruits or to trees or to, say, wheat and such things which are very important for life, any food, you'll be amazed that the food also grows so much more and the taste is so good and it lasts you so longer. Like one gentleman tried, a university professor in agricultural college, on some wheat, some vibrations. And he was amazed that when they collected this wheat was at least 6 times more than normal. And when this wheat was stored in a big hall like this, there were so many other things. The rats, who are always a menace in India, never touched that wheat. They ate all the rest of it but never touched the wheat. Even the animals, the snakes, even the tigers, of course the dogs and the cats understand it much more. They understand you. They know that you are a saint. They'll never touch you. They'll never trouble you. Even a tiger sees a saint, he never attacks. You can handle a tiger very easily. This is the power of a saint. So you develop a tremendous capacity of creativity. The greatest capacity you have then is of creating a new human being out of an ordinary human being. This is the greatest blessing you have, that you transform an egg into a bird. And that is the epitome, that is the spiritual power you have by which you can transform the whole human race into a new race which has this 5th dimension within yourself. You can start talking on science. Now we have a scientist here and he's done his science, he's a doctor of science and this and that in chemistry. And I explained to him about this, where is the hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen and all that within us, and he was amazed. He said, Mother, how do you know all these things? I said, I don't know how I know what I know. That's what it is. You just have a look at these. And he was amazed how I was telling him about spiral movement and linear movement of peptones. He said that for this I had to study so much. I said, for Sahaja you don't have to study. A little bit you know and immediately you click the point. Now, this is the second thing that you know in your learnings, in your education, you are all right. But the mastery of the center comes, when you know the pure knowledge of handling the Kundalini, the pure knowledge of spirit, the pure knowledge of the blessings of God, of Rutambhara Pragya. If you know that, that is the highest that you achieve gradually as you grow. Because when the center starts expanding on the sides, you start expanding in your personality, in your sensitivity, and in your evolutionary ascent. So that is how you start growing from one to another, to another, to another. Now the third center that we have, actually this is the second center, because the third center arises, this Swadhisthana arises out of the Navi. is a very, very important center. It's the center of your seeking, as he has told you. Your complete priorities change. Complete priorities change. Because the joy that you get out of Sahaja Yoga, the joy you get out of these meditation, out of the feeling that flows in you all the time, like a beautiful torrential rain of joy that fills you, your life and everybody's life. You don't care for cheap type of entertainment. You feel you seek other Sahaja Yogi. You want to meet another Sahaja Yogi. You don't want to meet anybody else. If there's an actor coming or some big man is coming, all right, let him come. I am going to see such and such person. It is such a different personality that one day I'll tell you how it happens. There was a girl, a diplomat, she's a diplomat who is a realized soul, and she happened to go to Sicily. And she was eating her food, suddenly she felt there's some vibrations coming around. She looked around, the other one was also looking at her. She said, "Are you Mataji's disciple?" She said, "Yes, I am Mataji's child." They both got up and just hugged and said, "Such joy, mother, in that far-fetched place of Sicily to find a Sahaja Yogi." And then they kept together and they wouldn't go anywhere else, but they said, "No, this is the enjoyment." Just the company of a Sahaja Yogi is such an enjoyment. I have seen these people when they go to India. The people are not so rich, poor people, they have little huts. But when they go there, you should see the love, the rapport. And that makes me so happy, the way they love each other, the way they understand each other, the way they help each other. And only the company, for the first time you start enjoying. We were once in a hotel, staying in Calcutta, and there were two Sahaja Yogis with me. They were in the other room, quite far away. They couldn't get a room close to me. And one gentleman came for his realization. He came to my feet. When he got realization, it was a tremendous happening. And they came rushing from there. I said, "What happened?" They said, "We felt the vibrations. We felt the vibrations from their mother, so we have come to receive the vibrations." And they came and they felt the vibrations. So this man was so great that his vibrations attracted them and they came down. And then they were just enjoying that as if they were enjoying a big flower with lots of fragrance. What vibrations, what vibrations. The fellow got up, he said, "Very nice, they are enjoying my vibrations. Now I am going to enjoy your vibrations." For the first time you start enjoying your fellow men. Because everyone is a beautiful personality, a glorious, fragrant, joyful personality. But because you cannot feel the other person, and because the other person does not emit, you are all the time quarreling. Even husband, wife quarreling, father, mother quarreling, this one quarreling, that quarreling. In Sahaja Yoga, there's hardly any time for people to quarrel. The other day I had a lady who came to see me, and she was trying to put her point. And there were about 5-6 Sahaja Yogis, and everybody was putting the same point. And she was amazed. She said, "I have never seen such concord, such friendship, such understanding, all of them supporting each other, nobody is cutting anyone." Such a society has to develop. It's such a nourishing, soothing, invigorating society. And you forget about getting bored. Boredom goes out of life. You never get bored. You enjoy yourself or you enjoy the company of Sahaja Yogis, and it's a very different level that you come out. That is that land you have to reach within yourself. Now, the greatest thing that happens as a result of this center seeking, that you start seeking other seekers. You try to find out where is the seeker. If you hear somebody is a seeker, you go and see. If you hear about someone that some people are lost there, they were seekers but they went there lost, you all rush there. It's like a person who is like what you call a guard. On the seashore, there are guards kept for salvaging people. And that's how you become. You suddenly find somebody sinking, you just go. In Bombay, there was a case, they announced that there's a lady who is going to die. If somebody can come and help her, it will be a great thing. They all rushed there, we saved her. Now the interest changes completely and you start really helping people and not feeling that you have helped anyone. Not at all. But the surrounding portion of that, which is the void, is the best which is affected by your awakening. That you become the virtue itself. Nobody has to tell you that you be virtuous. When you are awakened, you become a virtuous personality. You enjoy your virtues. You enjoy being good. You enjoy being nice. You really enjoy it. And that enjoyment comes to you as a blessing because the virtue itself is so strengthening, so powerful, that anyone who is harmed or troubled or tortured or put down, you stand up. You are not afraid of anyone. You are not afraid of any one of them. Now about these people who have been troubling you as fake gurus, I told about them in 1970. I am just a lady. And single-handed I told them who these people are, how they are going to loot you and what they are going to do. But in this country nobody can think of one genuine person who could be really genuine. It was the problem that time. But with this awakening within you of the virtuous nature, you just know what is virtue and what is not virtue. I don't have to tell. I don't say don't do this and don't do that. I never say that. It just happens. Because when the virtue starts developing, the vibrations improve and you feel extremely joyous. We have lost our virtues because there is no joy out of it. No reward. If somebody is honest, he has to suffer. If somebody is good, he has to suffer. If somebody is kind, he thinks he has to suffer. But after getting realization, you are rewarded for your virtues. You are amazed how you are paid for. It's so surprising. Like once there was a lady who came to see me, she was a refugee. And I had a big house, so I said, all right, come and stay with me. So my husband, my brother, they came, they said, what's this? You don't know her, who she is, her husband, whether he's her husband or not. Just given her 2 rooms, it's not good. I said, let it be, doesn't it? I know for nothing is going to happen, let her be here. So they wouldn't also go against me. They said, all right, if you say so. This lady stayed for 10 days and went away. Then she became a very well-known actress in India. I didn't know she was the same lady, but somebody told me that she's the same lady. I said, maybe. Then one day, they wanted to make a film for our Sahaja Yoga. So they said, we can ask this lady to act because she's a good actress. I said, all right, you can go and ask, but don't tell her that I'm here. Otherwise, she will have no choice. I will not go and see her. You just ask her. They went and asked her. They said, will you be actress and all that? She said, I'll try this, that, she was saying. But on the day when they were going to open the film, I went there, she saw me, she was so amazed. She said, oh God, you are the one. You are the one who's sponsoring this. Oh, I'll give my life for her. She just came forward, she said, have anything you like. I have nothing to say. I'm so sorry that you never told me that she's there. 1,000 times more she rewarded. A little thing I did for her. No more cheating, no more troubling. You become a wonderful person. And so many people become your friends in this world. You have to just tell you are coming, there will be 100 people at the airport to receive you. There will be so many friends all over the world for you will be amazed. It's such a tremendous thing happens because now you are all awakened in that primordial being and you have become one with each other. You can feel it. That oneness, that union, that we are all not only human beings, but we are yogis, we are superhuman beings. And we have to look after the whole world. That feeling of compassion is so overwhelming that all little stupid things just fall off. There's no place for that. This actually happens and has happened with many. Some of them were so hot-tempered, some of them were so quarrelsome, some of them used to fight so much in the beginning that I thought, how are they going to be all right? But today I find them as great friends and very great yogis. So this is the center where your religion is awakened. And what is a religion? Word comes from religo. In Sanskrit it means dharma. Dhara iti sa dharma, the sustenance. Your sustenance, your valency is your religion. As every atom, carbon has 4 valencies, as in the same way you have 10 valencies. These are the 10 commandments that were told to you. And you become that. You just become. I don't have to tell you as commandments, but they become your beautiful ornaments within yourself. This happens automatically. So spontaneously you become that. A bishop came to see me the other day. He is a relation of my brother. He came to see me and he was rather adamant and little angry when he came to see me because he thought, why am I trying to do this kind of thing? But when he saw the Sahaja Yogis, he said, I'm amazed, I've been giving lectures in the church for years together, but I could not achieve anything. How have we transformed these people? The drug addicts have suddenly become such good people that they have given up drugs. Alcoholics have given up alcohols. How is it without telling them anything? I said, everything is within them. As soon as the light comes, you can see everything. You know that this is on your way, this is against your progress, this is anti-light, you just give up. Only thing, you have to have the light within you. So, he himself was surprised at this. And then he said, really, that should be done, is to transform them. But I said, you do not transform them by giving them big sermons. You transform them by giving them the real second birth, real baptism. And I must say that Calvinists, of all the persons Calvinists in Geneva, have accepted me. And they think that this is the only way they can transform me. You will be amazed, the Calvinists of all the persons who are such, I should say, one-sided people, they have accepted to see the result of everybody who is an open-minded person, who thinks for the good of others and not for money making and for his selfish ends, will see one day that this is the way it has to be. God has given us this power. We have got a spirit within us. We should try to awaken that and we should accept it, not because I am doing it. You can do it also. So this thing happens to you with this chakra. Now with the another chakra on top, that is one, I am telling you the positive side of it. When this chakra is caught up, he must have told you develop breast cancer and all that. But when it is awakened, you get all the security of the world. You are never insecure, you are never bothered, you have no fear of it. You do not have to suggest yourself that you should not have any fear or anything, you just become fearless. There's nothing like fear. There is no reaction to any threat or anything. Like the gentleman who came here just to beat me and I was just looking at the drama. And the fellow was getting frightened of me, he was going backward, he would not come forward. But you don't develop any fear at all about anyone because you are standing on truth, like Christ. At the time when he was challenged, you must know when Mary Magdalene was beaten up, he stood up. He had nothing to do with a prostitute, such a virtuous man. He was virtue personified. He stood up. He said, those who have not committed any sin can throw a stone at me. He was sure nobody can do it because he was an authority of virtue. As I told you, I am just a woman. And I spoke openly with the names of these people and told them what they are going to do and how they are going to possess you. And people came, they were frightened. They said, what are you doing? So you get rid of all your fear. But you do not dominate anyone. You love. In your love, you are secured. It's not by domination, but the security that you are love, you are compassion, and the power of love is the highest of all, that you stand in complete peace and bliss. This happens to you when the central thing comes up. There are many other things happen. You can become a poet. So many things happen with this because you become such a compassion. Such a compassion. And when this compassion starts working, you are given all the help that is needed. Then another chakra, I'm going a little fast because after all you understand that there isn't much time today. I've been speaking and speaking every day. It's a marathon race for me. So I'll try to make it short now. Is the Vishuddhi chakra, as he told you, is very important. This is America. Vishuddhi chakra is America in the universe. America is the Vishuddhi chakra and the star is the Saturn. There are 17 of them. 16 is the planet moving round. There's a 16 centers there and the 17th is Vishuddhi itself. It's a very important thing that this center is America, so America has the responsibility of transformation. They have to take up the responsibility of transforming the whole world. Instead of that, they themselves are getting ruined. They are killing themselves. There is no fear from outside, I tell you. We are going to be ruined from inside. What a responsibility you have and what we are doing, you should see to that. That's why so many seekers are born here. But they do not feel the responsibility of transformation. They will. One day it will come, they will have to feel it. Once they are awakened, I am sure they will feel that responsibility. This very important center is by the virtue of this, on the gross we develop a face which is very relaxed and attractive and good looking. We develop eyes which are full of compassion. We develop a face which is innocent, which is very smooth and which has got a capacity to express its feeling. The smallest of feelings can be expressed through this center. It looks after your nose, your ears, everything improves with this. You develop it. Now, I can't hear anything if a non-Sahaja speaks to me. It's a very funny thing. Unless and until that person is very close, I just can't hear what he's saying. To me, it's all what you call blah, blah, blah. But a Sahaja, if he speaks to me, I can hear very well. The whole thing changes. The whole sensitivity changes. You start understanding what music is good for your spirit. You start understanding what is good for your eyes to be seen. Because you just don't like to see that is something that is horrid. You just don't enjoy it. You feel like vomiting. You see something horrid, you just feel like vomiting. You become so sensitive, you can't imagine, to virtue and to goodness. Automatically it happens to you. I don't have to tell you. I have seen people have changed overnight. The whole idea is that the light has to be brought in for you to see for yourself. And when it happens, you'll be amazed. You become such a different, wonderful person. There's everyone in America has Abraham Lincoln within them, which has to be just awakened. And you'll find that that great personality can be shown in you when it happens to you. It has to happen to all of you to feel that greatness that lies hidden within you. I cannot elaborately tell you about Vishuddhi Chakra, what they call the Krishna consciousness, but not this Krishna consciousness, which has made people actual beggars. They are begging on the streets. You go in India, in the villages, they were going to beat these people, they thought they are Krishna consciousness. They wouldn't get places in the hotels because they thought they are Krishna consciousness. Because these people were lost, they had no money left with them, now they are begging in India. Imagine how can we afford to have these beggars there? They have no money with them, they cannot come back, they don't know what to do with them. And so many you will find in the villages just begging. So this kind of thing, that imagine a person who is being blessed by Sri Krishna, who is the deity on this center, should beg. He is the one who is the giver of complete wealth. Why should you beg? This is the thing they don't understand. Just the opposite of what they are supposed to. There are lots of stories of Krishna, how he blessed people with wealth. It is to be seen sometimes. If you have time, I may have time, then we might be able to see all those beautiful things that he did. So, the other chakra is important, is the chakra of Christ. This center is very important because this is the gate. Through this you have to pass to your destination, which is the limbic area. So Christ is the gate. Many people are shouting, it's only he can say. Where is he now? Is he here? When he was living, they talked of a Brahman. When he came, then they said, you are not there. It was Moses. You are not. They denied him, defied him. Now when he is dead, then we think it is Christ. Now I have come. He's talked about me. If you read Bible, you'll find he's talked about me very clearly there. And I have to do my job. When I have come, you are going to say that it was Christ who has to do it. If Christ could do it, why did he say that I am going to send you a comforter? He talked of future, didn't he? Why did he say such a thing? We should find out. Why did he say that I'll send you the Holy Ghost and the Comforter and the Redeemer and a Counselor? Why did he say that? Why not look forward to that? Because we are today after Christ. People don't want to see this point. They want to depend on Christ because he's in their pocket. They can use him the way they like. When he has talked, he has said, why not see the point? If this is what Christ is, then it's such a bad thing because people say Christ was no good. They say, what has Christ given us? Christian nations, what have they done? What have they achieved? It's a bad name to him if you do not see completion of his work. I am here to complete his work. And when you do not complete his work, his half work done in a very half way will bring bad name to him. Why not people who claim about Christ understand that what others have to say about him? If you want to know about Christians, go and ask the Jews. And if you want to know about the Jews, go and ask the Muslims. And if you want to know about the Muslims, go and ask the Hindus. They are all in a doldrum. Nobody has any understanding that they are worshipping or they are admiring or advocating a flower which belongs to one tree of life. They have all plucked those flowers, this is mine in my pocket, and fighting. If religion means fighting and quarreling, it is not a religion at all. If it is integration, then it is a religion. In Sahaja Yoga, you will find that they are all together. Christ has said very clearly, those who are not against me are with me. Who are those people? Try to find out. For that you have to little bit go out of Bible. In the Bible, how much do you have Christ there? For 3 years? Nobody allowed him to live for 3 years, and if they could, they would also kill me. Not easy. He wanted to play the drama, otherwise he would have finished all of them in no time. So he has said that you are to be resurrected first, and then that's how you will be judged. And the day of judgment is today. This is the day of judgment, that's why you are confused. This is the day of judgment where you will be judged. And how are you going to be judged? Through your Kundalini. Your Kundalini is going to be awakened and you will be judged where you are. That's what it is. And those who will be calling me Christ, Christ, I will not look at them. That's what it is. By calling him Christ, Christ, you do not become Christians. You have to get your realization. Your baptism in the actual sense, it has to be an actualization. I am telling you that if you miss the point, you have missed it forever and ever. Be careful on that point. It's very important. Don't run after things which have no meaning to your consciousness. Try to raise yourself up to this point and understand that the time has come for you to transform. This is the time of your judgment, and you have to get to it. in a very big way. These shallow things and all this will be finished. What is America or what is any country in the eyes of God? Nothing. If they do not take to his ways, all will be treated like waste, thoroughly waste. It's a wasteland. But if you rise, thousands and millions can be saved. Try to rise. Try to understand your own responsibilities. That is very important. And the last center, which is the Sahasrara, is the integration. Integration of your being, a physical, mental, emotional being. It takes place. Is integration of all the deities, of all the prophets, all the great works that they have done. Integration of all the scriptures. Everything takes place when this Sahasrara is opened out, when you become the spirit. This is a much more difficult job, I know, because if you don't have to transform people, it is very easy to talk about it and get away. But I have to transform. Not only transform, but you have to become. You cannot become a Sahajogi by paying me, by saying things, by arguing, by showing out. You can only become Sahajogi by growing within yourself. Face up to it. See for yourself. I am here to help you in every way possible. Whatever is possible, we'll try to do it. But you all should also understand your responsibility. It's not a joke now. It's no more a joke. It's not like Sunday morning you get up and go to church, or Monday morning you go somewhere else in the temple, and Tuesday morning you go to Siddhivinayaka, and another day you go to a mosque. It is not like that. It's a very serious thing which we must understand. We are at the brink of destruction. Be careful about it. We must do things so that the blessings of God comes upon us and that we are saved. It's a very serious thing, and the responsibility is much more on all the people who are getting realization. So do not treat it lightly. You all, I hope, will take it seriously, work it out seriously. And I tell you, out of you will come out those people who will build the foundations of that construction which is going to come. Please don't waste your time in useless things. Get to it. Any one of you can do it. I bless you with my whole heart and know that I love you very much. And that's how. Though you may think that you are very unassuming, simple people, you are the ones who are going to do it. Not those who are successful. They are blinded by their success. Not those who are rich. They are not going to enter into the kingdom of God. Not those who have a big name. No, it's you. You are going to enter into the kingdom of God. May God bless you.